Hey guys, how are you doing? My name is Aisling and welcome back to my channel. I'm here today to talk about books. It has come to my attention that I need somebody to give me a stern talking to. It is no secret that I am a chronic series non-finisher. Today I'm here with my bookshelf and I am ready to see how bad the situation really is. I have my trusty notebook. And my trusty pen. I'm gonna get cracking on this and we'll see how bad things really are. This is how my bookshelves normally look. I face the spines of the books that I have read away so that I can see physically which books I still have to read on my shelves. For the purposes of today's video, we are going to do this just so I can see what I have on my shelves and what I have already read. In this first shelf, we're not actually looking too bad. I started this Catherine Arden book, so The Bear and the Nightingale. That was one I actually quite enjoyed. I actually walked into a bookshop and just picked this off a shelf, just randomly without anybody's recommendation, and I literally hadn't done that in years and I was so happy because I really enjoyed it. This is part of the Winter Night trilogy written by Catherine Arden. She is an American author. The other two books, the second book is called The Girl in the Tower and the third book is called The Winter of the Witch. So at the beginning of this story, which is all that I know of it so far because I've only read the first book of 3, it takes place in like a medieval Russian village. We have a girl named Vasya Petrovna, I think her name is, and she's a little bit wild from the perspective of her family and the people around her, but she has received a spiritual gift and it's something that maybe the rest of them might be afraid of. She uses it to see the fantastical creatures in and around her village. It does lead her into a bit of a conflict with the Orthodox Church because, of course, essentially they're convinced she's a witch, because what else could a woman be? I can't recommend the whole trilogy. I did enjoy this first book. I know that some people are a bit like, I didn't like it, but each their own. I liked it, so I'm going to recommend it. So that's one of the first ones that's going to have to go onto the list. Now, in the meantime, we have the Shadow and Bone trilogy, which I actually did finish. Amazing. Would not be like me. Six of Crows duology. I have only read Six of Crows. I've yet to get to Crooked Kingdom. And then Ninth House, I haven't yet read Hellbent. So on that shelf, we already have 3 series. Okay, shelf number 2 also isn't really looking too bad. So the only series that I can see here is Cassandra Clare's The Mortal Instruments series, and I have actually made a dent in this. So far I finished City and Bones and City of Ashes, which are the first 2 books in this series. I'm hoping to read 1 each month so that I should be well finished this coming into the autumn. Got Tracy Deonn, so Legendborn, which I read recently and was amazing, and I have Bloodmarked all geared up to go for this month. So that's one series on this shelf. Dune. I read the first Dune book, but I haven't quite managed to get around to reading Dune Messiah. So, okay, that's 2 series on this shelf that I have started. I haven't started The Wheel of Time, so that doesn't count. Stephen King's Dark Tower series, I've read 4 of those so far, so the next one that I have to read is Wolves of the Calla, which is a little bit intimidating. I'll tell you now how many pages it got. So it has the grand total of 771 pages. Also on this shelf we have the Illuminate files, which is a part of a duology, I think, but I haven't actually started that one yet. And then The Poppy War, The Dragon Republic. I have read the first 2 in the Poppy War trilogy, and the next one that I want to read, which I also have geared up for this month, is The Burning God, and oh boy am I excited for it. So we have 2 on this shelf again, so we're actually not doing as bad as I thought we were going to do. I started the ACOTAR series, so I've read A Court of Thorns and Roses. Dun, dun, dun. And I still have to read A Court of Mist and Fury. Now in saying that, I've actually forgotten what happened in the first book. We're going to continue anyway. I haven't actually started House of Earth and Blood. The Heartstopper series, which is absolutely bloody beautiful. I have read the very first one, and I have read the second one, but I have yet to read 3 and 4, so the Heartstopper series goes onto this list as well. I do feel though that, excuse the finger, I do feel that I'll read these two quite quickly, because you can kind of read them in one sitting, right? I'm kind of saving them for a day when I'm just feeling a bit not great. Okay, and over here in the dark shadowy corner is a book called Sorcery of Thorns, written by an author called Margaret Rogerson. This is not part of a series, but I am reading a library book at the moment, this one. So it's Vespertine by Margaret Rogerson. Now, I didn't actually know, in my defense, that this was part of a duology until I started reading it, and then I looked it up. That's not my fault, but we're gonna have to add that one to the list as well, aren't we? This is the novel that I'm currently reading by Margaret Rogerson, and it is about a girl called Artemisia who is studying to be a nun. I believe they're called the Grey Sisters, and what they do is they cleanse the bodies of the dead to help their souls to pass on. If not, they will come back potentially as violent spirits, and we don't want that. Artemisia has a bit of a history. I'm not going to say too much more, and she is special, as aren't all our fantasy protagonists. I'm not too far into it, so I can't give away too much. I don't think so far that I'm enjoying it as much as Sorcery of Thorns. It's middling so far. What I have started is this duology, so Prior of the Orange Tree. So I have A Day of Fallen Night to read, and look at that thing, it is a buster. This last shelf. But thanks be to Jesus, there's nothing on this. It's a series that I've already started. So that's all of my bookshelves. Okay, so I'm back with the owl notebook and the pen. Or if you want to learn some Irish, peown in Irish. Anyway, moving on. So, okay, I just remembered one more trilogy that I don't have. Oh dear, I'm gonna have to write this down. So I'm in the middle of 13 series that I'm aware of. 13 series that I want to continue with anyway. We got Catherine Arden's Winter Night trilogy, Six of Crows duology, the Ninth House duology, Alex Stern duology, Cassandra Clare's Mortal Instruments, Tracy Dion's Legendborn. I know that there's another one of those to come as well. Dune, I didn't realise there were actually 6 books, so I'm far behind. Stephen King's Dark Tower, the Poppy War trilogy, ACOTAR, Heartstopper, Vespertine duology, Priory of the Orange Tree, and A Day of Fallen Night. And then one I forgot to mention because I don't have a physical copy is the Green Bone trilogy by Fondely. So I've read Jade War, so I need to add 2 more books onto this. Oh my god. So taking into account the books that I have read out of these series and the books that I have yet to read, we have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Series alone, I have 29 books to go. Oh dear, and you might have spotted on my shelves I have quite a few other books that are just the first book in a series that I haven't started. It is the following day and I've had to pull out the old trusty notebook and pen because I just realised this morning that I forgot a book. I missed a book on my shelves, on the very last shelf. So that book was For the Wolf by Hannah Whitten. I believe this is called the Wilderwood series, and there is a second book in this series at the moment. I'm not actually sure if there are supposed to be more, but currently there are 2 anyway. So that's another series that I have started and not yet finished. So we've had to do a recount, and it's actually 14 series then that I'm in the middle of. That means there are a total of 30 books remaining in the series that I'm already in the middle of to finish. So that is quite the challenge.
Let me tell you, that's not happening this year, love. It's not.
I did go into town today with the intention of either getting The Girl in the Tower, which is the second Baron Nightingale book, or getting the second For the Wolf book. I can't think of the name of the second one now. I'm sorry, it eludes me. So off I go to my little local bookshop and they don't have either of them, and they also didn't have Dune Messiah or any of the books in the series that I don't have yet. So I was like, oh, that's a shame, and I didn't have a book with me to read. I had finished Vespertine this morning and I was bringing that back to the library, but the library is outside town, of course, so I was like, oh, well, I'm not going to walk to the library to bring it back to get myself a nice coffee to sit in and, you know, read. So why not buy another book and start another series? I bought The Three-Body Problem by Cixin Liu, and this one is a science fiction set in China, I believe, and it is one of these ones that is kind of really highly lauded, really well spoken about. I'm really excited to read it. I actually have it on my Kindle, but you know, I didn't have a book with me at the time, so why not buy a physical copy, especially because series look nice on shelves together. I actually kept my shelves this way as well because it just looks nicer when the colouredy spines are facing out. So that's where we're at. I'm just adding to my problem. So instead of the 3-body problem, we have the 30 book problem. Thanks so much for watching. If you like this little bit of chaos, please give me a like, subscribe, even comment. It really helps. I'm so glad that those of you who are here. Thanks for being so lovely, and I will chat to you soon. Bye bye.